Climate change is without doubt one of the most discussed topics today. A simple search for the phrase using any of the popular internet search engines yields millions of web pages, images and other information on the subject. There's also a lot of material that covers climate change from various angles. Climate change and farmers, climate change and fishermen, as you saw, climate change and water, climate change and health, climate change and energy, climate change and forests, climate change and gender. If someone has not written about climate change and a particular topic yet, give it some time and there will be something published on it. Climate change is the term on everyone's lips, or at least in everyone's ears. In today's world, however, and boys and girls, before you leave, I'm going to give you the definition of climate change as it came from Mr. Spooner. As I was saying, climate change is the term on everyone's lips, or at least in everyone's ears. In today's world, however, we must recognize that we are in a state of information overload. Not only are we bombarded with information from many sources, but we are also presented all at once with facts and opinions, information and ideas, the plain truth and the not so true. In fact, very often, it is difficult to distinguish one from the other. In the past few decades, the number of sources of information available to us has exploded. So too has the ability of almost anyone with access to basic technology to send and receive information on almost any topic imaginable. And the topic of climate change, like most issues, has benefited and suffered from this massive information overload we experience daily. It was the internet that just a few weeks ago provided information to millions of persons that the government of Kiribati, I hope I pronounced it correctly, a small island in the Pacific, has been negotiating to buy land in Fiji to relocate their entire nation. Given the threat of sea level rise due to a change in climate, that country's strategies have had to address not only adaptation to changes and mitigation to lessen their changes, but also possible relocation. On the other hand, the internet is a haven for those who are either misinformed or have been misled into thinking that climate change is not real, but is a figment of some scientists' imaginations. And you heard what Mr. McDonald had to say about that. He said he wasn't going to spend too much time on it because it's really not so. In fact, the whole industry developed with one objective: to discredit the fact that burning of fossil fuels is the cause of climate change, and to declare loudly that reducing the use of fossil fuel is not the solution. These climate change skeptics have convinced many persons that the whole world has been tricked into thinking that we have a problem when none exists. And you saw it demonstrated in the skit. And they have done this thanks in large part to the new and emerging communication technologies. As Minister with responsibility for climate change, and the Prime Minister was here this morning and changed it into Minister of Everything, I can say that for us here in Jamaica, the response to the skeptics is who feels it, knows it. As a small island, developing state, Jamaica is on the front line of the battle against climate change. Small developing countries like Jamaica and Kiribati have done very little to produce the greenhouse gases that drive climate change, but we are paying the price for a crime we did not commit. With climate change, scientists say, come warmer seas that are damaging our coral reefs. And just a week or so ago, boat with the experts on coral reef came here and did a study, the results of which we will no doubt receive shortly. With climate change, scientists say, come warmer seas that are damaging our coral reefs, the sea level rise associated with a change in climate threatens coastal infrastructure, or hotels, or roads, or beaches. More intense tropical storms and hurricanes in recent years have cost us billions in damage, and they continue to threaten lives. Longer dry periods lead to more severe droughts, putting local agriculture and our water supply at risk. It is warmer temperatures which have helped the mosquito that carries dengue fever to breed faster in our region in areas in which they previously did not exist nor did not venture. As Jamaicans, we are feeling the impacts of climate change. Just ask our farmers, or fishermen, or coastal communities, or scientists, or climate specialists. We are, however, taking steps to address these impacts. Various initiatives by the government, civil society, the private sector, our universities, donor partners, as well as the widely available information in the media, have helped inform more and more people about climate change. As a country, our Vision 2030 Jamaica National Development Plan includes National Outcome number 14, which states that we will incorporate climate change scenarios in future economic and land use planning and provide a framework to ensure that we reduce the risks associated with natural hazards by integrating hazard considerations into our country's development planning, and outlines various sector strategies to address climate change adaptation. This is a national commitment. What we now need to do to support this is to have dialogue and communicate at all levels to share information on climate change, its impacts, and on appropriate responses to these threats. We must help each other understand about climate change and what will be required of us in order to build our resilience and adapt to climate change. It is also important that we all have access to information that is accurate and up-to-date, relevant to Jamaica and to specific sectors and suitable for practical application. This is the aim of the public education campaign being launched today. To spread the word that with climate change we must change, and to discuss what actions we can take to protect ourselves, our homes, our communities, and our country in the face of a changing climate. This is in keeping with my mandate as the Minister with responsibility for climate change, to raise the level of awareness of the Jamaican people about climate change, its causes, the expected effects and impacts, and how we must prepare ourselves to deal effectively with the eventualities in our various sectors and communities. If we are to make constructive change in response to climate change, we must have the information that will enable us to do so. National hero Marcus Garvey said, and I quote, "Liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you will liberate the bodies of men," end of quote. Decades later, his words still ring true. It is knowledge, having accurate and relevant information, that will help us to address the enormous challenges of climate change. I firmly believe that stakeholder participation is an integral part of good governance. Informed citizens can have a tremendous influence on the decision-making process and can support the dialogue for national development. We intend in this campaign to share accurate and up-to-date information with, and also to hear from, Jamaicans in all sectors, farmers and fishermen, business and political leaders, local government authorities, and local development committees, young people, senior citizens, disabled persons, people living in vulnerable areas, and indeed others. The Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change fully supports the project under which this campaign falls, the GOJ-EU UNEP Climate Change Adaptation and Disaster Risk Reduction. I must especially thank the European Union for funding this project, which addresses not only public education, but also rehabilitation of some of our critical watersheds and coastal areas as part of the adaptation response to climate change. I must commend and thank the Project Management Unit in the Planning Institute of Jamaica and the Executing Agency, the United Nations Environment Program, for their work on this project, and also highlight the work of the implementing agencies. The Environment Management Division and the Meteorological Service, who are implementing the public education and capacity building component of the project. The Forestry Department, which is working in watershed areas. And the National Environment Planning Agency, which is doing the work in coastal areas. I would also like to recognize the work of other donors such as the UNDP and the Environmental Foundation of Jamaica, which supported projects on which this campaign will build. I look forward as well to the wider climate change communication strategy to be developed under the IDB's pilot project on climate resilience. It is now my pleasure to officially launch the Government of Jamaica's first national climate change public education campaign. I look forward to the participation of all Jamaicans in this campaign as each of us seeks to make a change in response to climate change. Before you give me this big round of applause, let me just let me keep the promise. Students, I was told that climate change is the irreversible change in the normal climatic condition. I say it once more, hope that you can all repeat it in a chorus-like fashion. The irreversible change in the normal climatic condition. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, I wish I had money, I would give all of you something. Thank you.